Hey guys, this is Josh the Top Hat Gamer, and this week I'm reviewing Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Super Smash Bros. Has been a staple of most people's Nintendo library since its first iteration back on the N64, so does the latest entry in the franchise maintain its appeal and deserve to sit alongside its revered predecessors? It's a difficult question to answer, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I had mixed feelings for Smash Bros. On Wii U. The concept remains the same as previous games. Nintendo have corralled a roster of their most iconic characters into one game just so they can beat the shit out of each other. While it's a fine premise that only Nintendo seems to be able to pull off effectively, the game lacks an actual narrative reason for all these characters to be gathered together. Say what you will about Brawl, but the story-driven Subspace Emissary was a neat way to justify the crossover madness. Also missing are a number of characters from previous games. While series mainstays such as Mario, Samus, and Kirby remain, some of the additional roster from Brawl have disappeared. No more Ice Climbers, no more Lucas, and no more Solid Snake. It's disappointing, but that's not to say the roster as a whole isn't enjoyable. While we did lose some characters, new additions such as Mega Man, Little Mac, and the Wii Fit Trainer add some cool ideas and strategies to the mix. My biggest problem with the roster, however, is the amount of clone characters and the uneven attention between franchises. For example, Dark Pit and Lucina are more or less interchangeable skins for Pit and Marth respectively. This wouldn't be frustrating, but the fact that you can have all of the Koopalings as separate skins for Bowser Jr., yet Dark Pit and Pit have to take up two different slots, is just baffling. At the very least, these characters could play far more uniquely. As for franchise attention, check out the combatants from the Pokemon and Fire Emblem franchises. I get it, I like these series as well, but it seems like we could have done with more Metroid or even Donkey Kong characters. Hell, why not Dr. Eggman or another Sonic character? Smash Bros. Provides a decent variety of stages, and they showcase a wide variety of Nintendo games, both new and old. Old favorites such as Final Destination and Pokemon Stadium make a return, while some new stages enter the mix as well. My personal favorites are Wily Castle and the Pyrosphere, as they add the Yellow Devil and Ridley in as pseudo-boss fight. The game looks great and runs like a dream. Not once did I encounter any graphical or performance hiccups, despite how crazy the game can get at times. The visual design is as varied as the games that are brought together by Smash Bros, and almost everything is vibrant and colourful. Not to mention that Smash Bros is the embodiment of a love letter to Nintendo fans, and that permeates everything from the stage and character designs to the smallest animation to the incredible soundtrack. While the gameplay remains largely unchanged from previous Smash games, its pace has received a slight speed boost since Brawl, and the god-awful tripping mechanic has been removed entirely, with the exception of certain items and moves. The controls are tight, and smashing an opponent to their doom is as satisfying as ever, though fights can become quite hectic. There's always so much happening on screen at any given time that it can be quite difficult to keep up. The chaos isn't so bad in 1 to 4 player matches without too many items, but depending on your setup, things can get crazy really quickly, especially when you consider how you can play with a total of 8 players. That's crazy, and while you probably won't do this often with friends, you'll be running into it during certain game modes quite a lot. Speaking of game modes, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U comes packed with content. You have your standard Smash mode for general fighting, as well as 8-man Smash and Special Smash for those who want to keep things a little more crazy. On top of these modes, you also have Classic mode, which throws you into different battles where you can win money, trophies, or gear, culminating in a final boss fight against Master and Crazy Hand, and depending on your difficulty, the Master Core. There's also All-Star mode, which pits you against a gauntlet of Nintendo Superstars in reverse order of release. You'll start with the likes of Greninja and Lucina and fight all the way up to Pac-Man and Mr. Game & Watch, all with limited healing items and no continues. These modes are fun, but similar modes can also be found in the 3DS version released earlier this year. Smash for Wii U sets itself apart from the 3DS version with its inclusion of event matches and special orders. Event matches provide you with a staggering amount of themed challenge fights that all feature unique winning conditions. For instance, this one requires you to hit Charizard with Robin's Smash Ball special, and this one requires you to eat all the combatants as Pac-Man. The Special Orders mode, on the other hand, has you completing special matches to win trophies or other rewards. They're interesting, but they're mostly good for farming gear and trophies. The Crazy Orders, however, have you risking your money to stockpile rewards, all while keeping the damage from previous fights. To cash out and retrieve your rewards, you must fight Crazy Hand. While it can be easy, it provides a nice risk-reward trade-off that keeps things interesting. So on top of all that, most of the modes I just mentioned can be played in multiplayer, including the stadium modes from previous games. These consist of the Home Run Contest, the Angry Birds like Target Blast, and various renditions of Multi-Man Smash. Finally, there's a new mode called Smash Tour, which combines the random board game style of Mario Party with Smash Bros. It's a fun diversion, but so much is left to chance that it can be frustrating at times. The final fight to end the game is usually pretty insane though, as you fight with characters you pick up on the board game, imbued with crazy stats and different moves. The content doesn't just stop at game modes, however. There's a massive amount of trophies to collect as well as gear and alternate moves for characters. In a series first, Smash Bros. For Wii U allows players to customize character movesets, and even lets you create your own Mii fighter. Though these will undoubtedly be barred from competitive play, it's a neat feature. Just quickly, this is also the first game to utilize the new range of amiibo figures. While they don't add a lot to the experience, you're able to train and modify your own characters and save that data to the figures themselves. At higher levels, they're ridiculously challenging, but there's not much reason to use them. They are nice figures though. I enjoyed my time with Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. The gameplay is what you'd expect from a game in this series, but it's been tweaked and tightened since Brawl, and the game looks and sounds amazing. While I do have gripes with the chosen roster, I can't deny that the available fighters are generally pretty fun to use. I just wish there was less clones. The game comes absolutely packed with content, and should feature at parties for the foreseeable future. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U gets the Top Hat Gamer rating of good. Its slightly disappointing roster and lack of real narrative aside, Smash is still extremely enjoyable, and the sheer amount of content will keep you coming back for more. Series fans and newcomers alike should have a good time here.